We're in that transition period. Yeah.
Okay, guys, you ready to roll?
Ready to roll?
Well, welcome everybody to the Oakdale City Council regular meeting, May 25th, 2021. Sue, would you do roll call, please?
Councilmember Ingebrigtsen.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Sledman.
Here.
Councilmember Zabo.
Here.
Mayor Lee.
Here. Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So in front of us tonight, we have the amended agenda for our meeting tonight. And even with that, there are two other agenda amendments. Chris, you're going to give one, and then Kevin, I think you're going to give one. Yes. So Chris, which one is yours?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. There's a few actually technical amendments. So we've uploaded the amended agenda to the website so the public knows it is out there. So one of the things we are doing is the vacate 40th Street item, the public hearing. It needs to be a 4/5 vote, and that was not noted on the agenda. So that is one addition or change. Further, item F, the correct date, the business called and said the date needs to be changed to a different date. You have a new RCA in front of you. It's June 18th for that one. So that's been updated. Item H, the language needs to be fixed in the document to say it's mayor and city administrator to approve, not the city clerk. And lastly, we have removed the CIP project language as a recommendation from the Parks Commission, and that will be on the next agenda.
Okay. Thank you. And Councilmember Zabel,
Yeah.
another one?
The addition of a resolution under the council topics, council presentation section, a resolution repealing mayoral directive 2020-01, and all council members were provided a copy at our workshop. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion then to adopt these amendments for tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the amendments as presented.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes and the agenda has been amended. So first up for the public hearings is the preliminary and final plats for the Willowbrooke 3rd edition. So with that, Emily Shively, nice to see you tonight. I think you're going to take us through the presentation portion. If there'll be any questions that we'll have for you, then I'll open up to the audience for any public comment.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm Emily Shively. I'm the Oakdale City Planner. Hello. The first item for public hearing this evening is a request for preliminary and final plat approval for the Willowbrooke 3rd edition. I'll also present the request for site plan approval for the Springs at Willowbrooke, which is proposed for development at that location. So Alyssa is going to be able to show the exhibits that we have for this. And these are the same things that are in your packet, but just for the audience to kind of follow along.
You know what, while, Emily, if I can interrupt and just give background while Emily is getting this information, that there's people who may be participating with us by Zoom tonight. Alyssa McLeod is our communications person that should anybody want to make a comment, please go ahead and use the feature to signal Alyssa McLeod, and she'll take your comment and or bring you on to state it live. Since this is still a newer technology that some of our participants are using, I'm going to come back to it also at the end, and anybody that would like to participate to this will have that opportunity. So I see the information is up. Emily, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Alyssa. So this first graphic is just showing us where in the city we're talking about tonight. So you'll see 694 is that big yellow stripe that kind of runs along the left side of the page. 40th Street runs through the middle of the site, Ideal Avenue on the east side. And then kind of outlined in blue there, just north of the Forefront Technology and Office Campus, is the Springs at Willowbrooke location. So we can go on to the next one. we're back to we need to stay on the springs.
Oh,
Yeah, just the next page.
I'm sorry.
That one. There we go. Yep. So this is a graphic of the full Willowbrook neighborhood. And so this request continues the implementation of the small area plan for this neighborhood. So again, you'll see down in that lower right-hand corner where the springs is going to be located. And we can go to the next one. So this plat creates one lot on one block for the development and one outlot for stormwater management. And so this shows the kind of the gray blocks underneath are the locations of the buildings. So if we go to the next graphic, you'll just show, this is what the plat looks like. It's just block one, which has one lot on it, and then the one outlot for stormwater management. So now we'll go into what the development will look like. So this is the site plan. And the facility has controlled secure access with the main entrance on 36th Street North. And that's pretty close to where the entrances are to the forefront development to the south. There's been a minor modification
to the site plan, so we go to the next graphic. The secondary access, which is just for emergency vehicle access, because this is a controlled, secure neighborhood, has been switched to 38th Street. And that just makes it a little bit easier. There's less pavement in the development. We took out the road that kind of goes past that building one and by the clubhouse. And then where it was previously located, there's a median at 36. So a fire truck would need to take a right in and a right out. And on 38 here, they can go in and out any which way they want. And so the city engineer and the fire chief have reviewed this change in the secondary access and deemed that it's acceptable. And we can keep going. And this is just the landscape plan. So this was the original one. If you go to the next one, just shows more green space where that road was, and then that lower left-hand side. And we can keep going. All right. So now we'll talk about the plan. And the plan for development consists of 14 two-story buildings with 20 units in each building for a total of 280 housing units. And there's the two color schemes for the buildings, and that's what's shown here in their color palette. The next image. This is what the buildings will look like. So it's the 2 stories. And then each unit has a private ground level entrance, and parking is provided either in under garages, detached garages, or on surface parking. And then the next graphic will show the amenity clubhouse. So this is for the residents, and it includes a gathering room, fitness center, kitchen, coffee bar, outdoor pool, and then also houses the on-site management staff. Additional amenities in the development include picnic areas, car care center, a pet spa, and a pet playground. So they've really kind of focused who their market is and the types of amenities that they're providing in this new neighborhood. So the Planning Commission reviewed these requests at their May 6th meeting and unanimously recommended approval of the preliminary and final plat for the Willowbrook 3rd edition and the site plan for Springwood at Willowbrook. I'd be happy to address any questions the council may have right now, and representatives on behalf of the application are also with us on Zoom.
Thank you, Emily. Councilors, anything for Emily at this point?
No.
Emily, do you think, is it Mr. Kronbeck that?
It would be, yeah, he's the representative from Continental. Mark Kronbeck is with the engineering firm who.
Okay.
Do you want to have an opportunity for him to talk now, or?
It's,
Sure, if he has something to add. Let's bring him on if he is able.
Yeah, I think, can everybody hear me?
Yes, good evening, Eric.
Good evening. Thank you for having us today. There's nothing more to add from Emily's presentation. Really kind of captures what we're looking to achieve in the neighborhood. We're accepting of all the conditions that staff has recommended, and I'll be available for any questions you have about Continental or this community.
Very good, thank you. And just a point of order, would you give us your full name and your address and the company that you're with for the record, please?
Sure, I'm Eric Tome. I'm with Continental Properties Company. We're in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, West 134, North 8675, Executive Drive.
Very good, thank you.
You bet.
Councilors, anything for Mr. Tom? Okay, thank you. We'll come back to you later on if we need to.
Okay.
With this, I will now open the hearing to the public for comments from the audience. Is there anybody that is here tonight that would like to make a comment on this project?
Or is there anybody on the Zoom audience that would like to comment? Sure. Ma'am, I would ask you, again, for the record, to please join us if you can at the podium. So come on up and I'd like you to state your name and address.
Okay, my name is Barbara Holm, and I live on Olson Lake Trail.
Very good. Good evening.
First off, okay, doesn't 40th belong to the county? How can you vacate 40th Street if it isn't, is it your street?
I'm going to defer to Ms. Shively. For the
So,
technical.
just to address that question, I think that's the next
Yes.
item that we have for public hearing is the vacation of 40th Street. So right now, we're talking about a development proposal. So if we want to hold that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Public
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, it'll be right
It'll be right
next.
next.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to expand on it. That's a good point. I should have done that.
Okay,
So-
okay.
We'll get an answer for you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this portion as part of this public hearing? Alyssa, is there anybody that has raised a hand or indicated they want to comment? So I'm going to bring it back up front, and the public hearing is not closed. Councilors, any thoughts or any comments? Let me have a motion then, please.
Make a motion to waive reading, adopt resolution number 2021, approving the preliminary and final plats for Willowbrook 3rd Edition, 36th Street North and Ideal Avenue North, and waive reading both of them at the same time.
Let's do each one separately. So we'll stop at the first one. So there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes. Kevin, would you go ahead and do the second?
I make motion to waive reading, adopt resolution number 2021, approving the site plan for Springs at Willowbrook, subject to conditions.
We have a
We
motion.
have a
Is there a
motion. Is there a
second?
second?
Second.
There's a motion
There's
and
a
a
motion and
second.
a
Is there any
Is there any
discussion?
discussion?
All in favor,
All in
say
favor,
aye.
say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
And that
And
motion
that
passes
motion
as presented also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Emily, will you
Emily,
take us
will you
through
take us through the second
public hearing tonight, which is the vacation of the portion of the 40th Street in the Willowbrook development? Good evening
Good
again.
evening.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. So we're still in the same part of the city, but this item is a public hearing to vacate a portion of 40th Street in the Willowbrook project area. So it's really just a little bit east of 694 running to Ideal Avenue North. And implementation of the Willowbrook neighborhood that we were just talking about requires a new 40th Street to be constructed south of the existing 40th Street. So to facilitate the implementation of the Willowbrook plan, the existing 40th Street needs to be vacated. So that's what we're here to do tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions the council may have. And to the previous question, 40th Street is a city street. So Ideal Avenue is a county road, but 40th Street is a city street. Yes, and there will be a new 40th Street that the city will continue to own, built just south. It will be a little bit more curvilinear than the straight road that exists there right now. So there will still be a road that goes from Hadley all the way to Ideal Avenue, but it'll be a little bit south. It'll be more curving. It'll go past new parks and open space and new homes in the development.
Hey, Emily, could we pull up the map from the last packet, and maybe you could just point out where 40th Street, what
Yeah,
that'll
just
look
go
like?
back to the
the new one.
Springs, and it's the second PDF page. Yep, right there. So you see that purple circle on the left-hand side by
Would you be open?
694.
Would you be open to going up there?
Yeah.
I will. If you can still hear me with the audio, I can go point that at it. So 40th Street right now runs straight across here and comes in a little bit north of Lake Jane Trail. There's that offset intersection. So the new 40th will drop a little bit south. So there's the new park there. Come to another new park, kind of curve around, and then it will connect at Ideal Avenue across from Lake Jane Trail. And that's something that the county has always wanted to have happen, for there to be a safer intersection at that location.
Thank you very much. Councilors, is there any questions for Emily on this portion of the project? Okay, thank you, Emily. I'll now open it up to the public for comments as part of the public hearing for this process or this project. Likewise, I'll open up to anybody that may be watching on our Zoom tonight. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this project? In one final time, is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment? Sure.
I'm sure you had a count of cars that goes down Ideal Avenue
Yes.
from, like, say, from 14 and goes north. And it just seems like in the past month, that traffic has increased a lot.
Really?
That road is fast. It gets people from off of 14, if they want to head to the freeways or to 36, it goes fast. This looks to me like you're going to be pushing in a lot of cars into our road, more cars than we have now. Maybe not, maybe it will be okay. But that development that you're going to be doing down from Slumberland's building, and from what I saw anyway, it looks like it's right going to be on that corner of Ideal and 14. So there you've got more traffic. A lot of traffic going into a small area.
So good questions. We're doing it a little bit different tonight since it's a little bit casual. Emily or Bob, do you want to comment on that?
Maybe talk about the reconstruction of Ideal that's planned, or the redevelopment of Ideal.
Mr. Streeter?
Yes, so when the Willowbrooke small area plan was developed, we looked at the amount of traffic that's likely to be generated, and the roads that are internal to the site, as well as Ideal Avenue, will all be constructed to reflect that increased traffic, especially Ideal Avenue. That's going to have turn lanes. It's going to be safer. It's going to operate better. So the site plan that was developed, yes, there's going to be more traffic, but the circulation system will be constructed to handle that additional traffic. I've always mentioned that prior to the Willowbrooke plan, the approved plan called for almost 2 million square feet of industrial. So that would have been a lot more truck traffic. Instead, it's automobiles. The other thing I just want to mention about 40th, and for the folks who live in that neighborhood, it's curved to actually slow traffic down so people aren't speeding through the new development. Most of the traffic, I would say about almost 80% of the traffic exiting the Willowbrooke development will do so out onto Ideal Avenue south to County Road 14, and then wherever they're going, the freeway. Most of the traffic, or the minority of traffic, about 20%, will probably exit and go north, or may go to Hadley Avenue across the new 40th. So.
And ma'am? Ma'am? Just one thing, ma'am. Again, for the public record, I need to ask your name and address again. I'm sorry.
Barb Home, Olson Lake Trail, and I live in Lake Elmo. Dun, 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 dun.
Good evening.
Thank you, good evening to you too. I'm just looking at, now, that 40th, okay, here it goes, curving along, da, 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 da. And then it's going to be going out onto the
Ideal.
freeway, onto 694? Is that correct? No.
No, it'll cross over 694 and intersect
Oh,
with
like it
Hadley
is now
Avenue.
with that bridge across.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, that's not going to change, right? Yep.
Okey dokey. All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more question of Bob? Bob, could you just touch on the timeline for the changes to Ideal and how that integrates with the construction that we'll be seeing in Willowbrooke?
For her benefit, or do you want to?
It was.
Okay. Well, I will just say that the construction of 40th will begin in 2022 and be complete in 2022, and the county's project will start in 2022 and I think be done the early part of 2023. So that's being done because 40th has to reconnect to the new ideal, and it has to do so at a certain time. That was one of the other reasons why the construction of 40th went back to 2022 from 2021.
So safe to say all of the road and safety improvements to 40th Street and Ideal will be done before construction is completed on this first, or it'll be pretty close to the same time, right?
Yes,
The
it's also,
springs.
yeah. In 2022, there'll be a lot of new construction, both on Ideal, the new 40th, as well as Continental's development in Lennars. So it's all going to kind of happen at one time.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to comment? And if so, I'll invite you to the podium.
Okay, I've just got a question.
Yep. I still need you to state your name and address and
That's fine.
all that.
Tony, my name is Tony Nelson. I'm also from Lake Elmo. I'm Barb's neighbor, actually. So do you need my actual address? Or
Yes, sir.
4535 Olson Lake Trail North in Lake Elmo.
Very good. And good evening.
Okay. My question is, I noticed from the map that there's a road going north out of the development. Is that going to connect to Helmo Avenue in, where was it? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Okay, that's good. Hopefully that will keep traffic, because a lot of times people come up Olson Lake Trail, turn on 50th, and then backtrack down Helmo to get home, and that, hopefully that'll alleviate some of the traffic problem we have. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to comment on this project? One last time, is there anybody in the audience who would like to comment on this project? Alyssa, is there anybody that has raised their hand or wanted to comment from the Zoom?
Mayor, there's no one requesting to comment.
Okay, very good. So the public hearing is now closed. I'll bring it back up front for councilors if there's any final comments or questions. Seeing none, could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt resolution number 2021, vacating a portion of the 40th Street North right-of-way east of I-694 to Ideal Avenue North.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then this motion passes as presented. Thank you. And thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the agenda next are the approval of minutes from the Oakdale City Council workshop from April 27th, 2021. Upon review, councilors, did you see any things that you questioned or wanted to correct?
No.
Could I have a motion then, please?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then the meeting minutes are approved as presented. Next on the agenda is time that we call open forum. And open forum is going to include the people who may be watching on Zoom tonight. Open forum is a time for anybody in the audience to comment on anything that's not on the agenda. Our tradition and our desire is that if there's a comment, that the person states their name and address and speaks on the issue for up to 3 minutes thereabouts, and then we'll take it from there. So, is there anybody in the audience who would like to comment? Alyssa, is there anybody on the Zoom that has expressed an interest to comment?
Mayor, there's no one requesting to comment.
Okay. We'll move forward then to the next item, which is the consensus motions. In front of us tonight, we have A through H. And upon review, were there any consensus motions that the councilors would like to pull? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve consensus motions A through H as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then the consensus motions are approved as presented. Next on our agenda is the advisory boards and commissions, as well as the council liaison updates. So in front of us first, we have the meeting minutes from the Park and Recreation Commission, April 20th, 21. Did you notice any comments or any questions on it? And they're acknowledged to be received. We also have the Planning Commission meeting minutes of March 4th, 2021. Did the councilors have any questions? And they are also acknowledged, received. Next on the agenda is time with the Community Development Director, Mr. Streeter.
Mayor and Council, I have nothing this evening.
Don't you have two things?
Yeah, you have two.
Oh, I thought it was just an update.
No,
We're
no,
gonna
it's
approve the
A and B.
development agreement.
Unless you don't want us to.
Stop throwing me a curveball now. Okay. So you want me to talk about the MDA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Mayor and Council, the item before you this evening is the Master Development Agreement by and between the City of Oakdale, White Star Farms, and U.S. Home Corporation. This is in regards to the Willowbrooke development. This MDA, the Master Plan Unit Development Agreement, describes the responsibilities and obligations of both parties as they work together in partnership to complete the development of the Willowbrooke neighborhood. A couple things I want to point out. The city's responsibilities are around helping finance 40th Street and some park roads. The city will receive about 47 acres of land and about $350,000 in park dedication to implement an open space plan. A couple other things. About a month or so ago, Lennar had their final plat for outlots A and B, and tonight you just approved outlot G for Continental. So construction will begin when a couple conditions are satisfied, and that's the approval of this development agreement, the maintenance and cooperation agreement with the city and the county, and then Lake Elmo and the county regarding the improvements to Ideal Avenue, which then allows the developer, both Lennar and Continental, to record the plat and begin construction. I just also want to point out that any time the city and a developer entity enters into such a significant undertaking of constructing a neighborhood of 1,400 units, I think that we're in the 61st month from when we started this in 2016. So it's not a small undertaking. It has many meetings with the city council and the planning commission, but there's probably not a day that somebody's not working on this in some fashion, including Jim, the city's attorney, and then all the folks from Lennar and White Star Farms. And so we have with us Melissa. She works with Lennar, and she's the voice on the other end of the phone that I talk to most days about what's in this agreement. So if you have any questions or if you want to offer her an opportunity to speak, that's who she is. So with that, Mayor and Council, I have nothing more to add.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. Councilors, anything for Bob? Then I would like to extend the opportunity to Melissa, if you'd like to share anything with us tonight. First off, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We sure
Yeah,
can.
yes.
So nice to have you here.
Great, yes, thank you. Bob and his staff have been great to work with. We're very excited to see that this procured small area plan is really going to deliver great spaces for the community and a lot of different housing options for your future residents of Oakdale. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has anything.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilors, do you have any questions for Melissa? I think we're good, Melissa. Thank you very much. And we also are thankful that you are coming to the city and doing the project. So, could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the Master Plan Unit Development Agreement by and between the City of Oakdale and White Star Farms LLC and U.S. Home Corporation, and authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute the agreement.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then the motion passes as presented. Thank you. Bob, we have a second one dealing with the Master Service Agreement Task Order.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, the second item for your consideration this evening is a master services agreement with Stantec for the implementation of Phase 1 ecological restoration for the Willowbrooke neighborhood. So again, this is all centered around outlots A, B, and G, and this is the southeast quadrant. I think at the last work session, Mr. Charlo was here from Stantec, and we talked about the landscaping plan and what that was. This is the implementation the first phase of that, and it'll probably occur in 4 to 6 phases, depending on how development goes. Each phase is 3 years, so there's in the establishment, and then there's the year 2 and 3, there's the ongoing maintenance, making sure things get up and going the way they should. So this is for the first phase, and some of this work will begin in 2021. Most of it will happen in 2022, but we're asking the council to approve it now because folks like myself and Melissa and Brian and Emily and the folks from Stantec takes a lot of planning because we're going to be integrating the implementation of this open space plan with their construction, which is driven by 40th and all the utilities. So it's a good time to do this because there's a lot of planning that has to happen. So one of the things I wanted to point out that the park dedication that the city will be receiving is around $350,000. The developers also made a contribution of $122,000, which is going to cover, if not 100%, probably 95% of this cost over the next 3 and 4 years. So we just received a check today for $57,000 and some change I gave to Chelsea for phase 1 for outlots A and B from Lennar. And then when now that the MDA is executed and when Lennar and White Star Farms execute it, they'll deliver another check for 122, and I think that comes up to 179. So that'll cover this first phase, and we'll have money left over for the next phase.
Good. Thank you, Bob. Councilors, any questions? Any final questions for Melissa? Someone give me a recommendation then.
I will make a recommendation to approve entering into the Master Service Agreement Task Order for Willowbrooke Phase 1 Ecological Restoration and authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute the agreement.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then the motion passes as presented. Thank you. Next on the agenda is time with our city attorney, Mr. Thompson. Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, nothing specific to report. Happy to answer questions.
Councilors, anything for Jim? Okay, very good. Thank you. Next up on the agenda is time with our city administrator, Ms. Volkers. Good evening.
Mayor, City Council, I do not have anything further.
Councilors, do you have any questions or conversation with Chris? No. Thank you, Chris. Next up on the agenda is council presentations. I think maybe we'll start on my left with Councilmember Zabel.
Sure. Do you want to take that resolution right away?
Yeah.
The mayoral directive?
Let me do it the other way.
Now you
know what?
decide to go the other way.
I'll just bring it up, because we already added it to the agenda.
Yep.
So I'll just bring it up, and I'll direct to you to
Yeah.
introduce it. So why don't you do any presentations that you might have?
Sure.
First.
The resolution that was added to the agenda is just a resolution repealing mayoral directive 2020-01. That directive was issued last spring, March, issued by the mayor and affirmed by the city council to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. It offered flexibility for operations, PPE procurement, et cetera. It was a pretty commonplace for all cities and the state and the country to adopt. So now that we are coming out on the other side of COVID-19, it's appropriate to repeal that declaration.
Thank you. Councilors, any questions?
Can I see that just for a second?
So I think, why don't you make it into a motion then?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt resolution number 2021, a resolution repealing mayoral directive 2020-01.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes as presented. Thank you. Anything else, Councilmember?
Nothing for me.
Councilmembers Olson,
Nothing for me.
Councilmember Swedberg.
A couple things. Just want to remind everyone about the Landscape Revival event that's coming up June 12th here at City Hall from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are not, the exhibitors are not, we're not in City Hall at all. It's just the growers, and there's 4 growers at least. I'm going to be finding out if there's 2 more joining us, but it's a great event to get native plants and flowers to grow, including rain garden stuff. So hope everyone comes. There will be a food truck here. Oscar will be here So he's got great food. So he's very popular. I hear he's very popular with the police department. That's what he told me. He goes, you guys like him. So anyway, I'm sure when we had it a couple years ago and he was here, a lot of you guys came out to get your food from him. So that was nice. And then the second thing I just want to bring up is last Tuesday we met with all the commissioners and the tree board at the Discovery Center, and I want to thank everyone who showed up. It was really nice that a lot of people came to talk, and we did listen to a lot of the stuff. I took a lot of notes, so thank you for coming, you guys.
Very good.
That was it.
Thank you. Councilmember Engelbrechtson.
I have nothing.
Thank you. And then I have three things. Just want to say how nice it is and how thankful I think I am and we are to be back in the normal setting. We're up front, we're maskless, we have our counselors and advisors with us, and it just feels great, and it's really good.
Yep.
Second is really acknowledging, too, what Councilmember Swedberg said about the joint commission and council joint meeting. And truly, the commissioners play a significant role in the generation and the discussion about the issues involved with many, many issues. And very, very much appreciated for the time and commitment that gets spent. And then finally, from a council and from a city, I want to be sure to wish everybody that may be watching a happy and safe Memorial Weekend coming up. Looks like it's going to be great, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Before we move into the last piece, which is the award of bids, or second to the last, I'm going to open up the open forum portion again. Alyssa, if anybody joined us late or had difficulty joining us. Has anybody done so?
Mayor, there is no one requesting to comment.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move on to one of the final ones, which is the award of the bid for the lift station 11. And Chris, would you be able to take that for us
I
tonight?
can, thank you. Mr. Mayor, City Council, this is for lift station 11. You've got the recommendation in front of you, the RCA request for council action. We received 5 bids for this project. We estimated the work to be $550,000. The low bid was Minger Construction. We have worked with them in the past. They have a good reputation. It came in at just under $450,000. That is $100,000 savings in the project. So overall, the project will be, we budgeted $750 and it will be $650 overall. And that is right in the RCA. So I will stand for any questions. I'll try to answer if you have any.
Very good, thank you. Councilors, anything for Chris?
I got one. So Chris, what would that extra $200,000 cover beyond the construction? Is that actual equipment in the lift station?
Thank you, Councilmember Zabel. It is engineering, pump equipment, and some SCADA integration.
She had the answer. I love it.
Councilors, anything else for Chris?
Yep.
Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt resolution number 2021 awarding City Project 2021-03, the Lift Station 11 improvements contract to Minger Construction Company, Inc., in the amount of $449,509.25, and authorize the mayor and the city administrator to execute the contract.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes as presented. Thank you. Finally, tonight, we have our claims. These are the summary of claims from May 8 through May 20, 2021, in the grand total of $884,013.23. Upon review, did any counselor have a question or want to pull anything? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve claims as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the claims are approved as presented. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.